3:30. And we will get started. What I'd like to do first of all is have everybody introduce themselves. So I'll call your name and then you can tell us a little bit about you and raise your hand or something so we can see. And then I would also like you to put your name and affiliation, if you have one, in chat so that we can capture that and put it in our minutes. So Marlene, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Marlene Ludlow, and I live in the uplands, and this experience has been very wonderful. I appreciate everything you've done. You know, it's just been great having all this mess cleared out in here and being able to actually see my property and being happy that it maybe won't burn down in a minute. So it's been good and being, you know, good just interacting with everybody, finding out what's going on.
And for those of you who don't know, we had a 2019 Stevens grant, and we had 150 acres to do off of Old McLeod in the Shasta Upland subdivision, and we've got most of that done. We got 120 and we have about 30 more to go. And Marlene was our first, and it looks awesome up there. It looks really awesome on her property. And then Janet and Marilyn have had some work done, and we're going to be doing more work over there. Okay, Kristen, would you introduce yourself?
Sure, yes. My name is Kristen Norman, and I am new, as most of you noticed. I just came on with the Siskiyou Fire Safe Council to help Giselle out with all the back office stuff, whatever she needs to delegate. Spreadsheets and grant reporting and all of that. Some of you may know my husband, Alex Carter, who's the director of land management for the McConnell Foundation, and has been working on a lot of these grants and projects. And yeah, we are passionate about fire hazard mitigation in this family. So really feel grateful and honored to be part of this mission with you guys.
I'm really happy to have you on board. I just sent you a whole bunch of work to do if you want.
All right.
But anyway, thank you for joining us. So Calfire here says they don't have a microphone, but engineers Robertson and Mazzaglia from Calfire McLeod are listening to us. So, all right, Greg.
Oh, I'm Greg Dinger. I'm just a member of the community over on the west side of Highway. And I started attending the meetings in 18 after the fires all got rolling, and over COVID, I have taken a larger role of recording the meetings and trying to be the promoter in chief, and that's about it.
I really appreciate Greg. He does a lot of our technical stuff with our Facebook and with our recordings of these, and he's highly trained in that area, and he's offering us volunteer time with his expertise, and we just love him. So, Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet Bueller. I'm here along with my sister Marilyn, and our family has a residence on Old McLeod Road that has had the fuel reduction done for, but we also own the 22-acre parcel behind our home that runs all the way down to Village Way that we're looking to have additional fuel reduction on.
Good. Marilyn, did you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Janet's speaking for us, and she's pretty much said what I would say myself. So thank you for doing this.
Welcome. And Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Laschek. I'm the Forestry and Fields Project Manager for the Shasta Valley Resource Conservation District here in Siskiyou County, and partner with the Fire Safe Councils and others in the area to do lots of fuel reduction, forest health improvement, prescribed fire projects. So hello, everybody.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hello.
So, and then I'm Giselle Nova. I'm the coordinator for the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County. And I'm also the coordinator for the I think we call it a facilitator in Mount Shasta. I'm facilitator for the Mount Shasta Area Fire Safe Council. And if you guys want to join the leadership of that anytime soon, I mean, we'd be glad to have anybody who wants to step up to that, those positions. Talk to me, and we've got positions open. So anyway, we've got a couple more. Emmy Lou, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sorry about that. This is my name is Jesse. Can you hear me?
Hi, Jesse. Yes.
My daughter was on here last time.
So Jesse, tell us about yourself.
We have a place on Old McLeod, in between Eddie and the next street there, that we spend a portion of the year at, and as well as my mother-in-law. And she couldn't make it today, so she wanted me to check in and see what was happening.
All right. Did we fuel treat your piece?
Yes.
Okay. All righty then. And then Julie, there you are. Julie, introduce yourself.
Hi there. I'm I live in Mount Shasta area, and I've been helping work with community wildfire protection for many years after a career with the Forest Service. So happy to be helping where I can.
Thank you. Again, please put your name in chat so we can capture that for our minutes. And Kristen will be taking minutes for us today, and she can also refer back to the recording when that comes out. So, and you know, don't be too concerned. You could also just listen if you want. So let's get in on, oops, no, I want the other thing. What is it? Here we go. The next thing we're going to do, or is there any changes to the agenda? Any announcements or anything you would like to talk about before we get started? Okay, let's
Make it rain.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah. So
Let's
the
see.
first, yeah, we're going to talk about the Eddy Drive fuel reduction project. So as I said, we've done 120 acres and we have 30 more to do. Matt Mello, our fire chief, just retired, but right before he retired, he said that Calfire and he and the Mount Shasta Volunteer Fire Department would be happy on the Bueller piece that we're going to do work on to cut and to burn piles, and the fire companies will come out and burn the piles for us. So we're looking about that piece on Village Way. Matt Mello would really like us to do that because it butts up right against that subdivision where there are a lot of homes, and you'd have to see the map to understand. I don't have it up, but anyway, that's where we're going to be headed next. I talked to Juan, and he says he plans to go there as soon as he's done with what he's doing. He's working over in Hammonds. He completed some stuff over in Juniper Flat. He still has a little bit more to do there, but he is planning on being back soon. I can't tell you when. I'm waiting to hear from him. So Janet and Marilyn, be on the lookout because he's ready to start that next 20 acres right there next to the subdivision.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he can meet with us and coordinate with us, because my understanding of what Matt wanted in order for the property to meet compliance was the portion behind the Village Way subdivision, and then a portion that ran along the side of the Bear Springs Dirt Road.
Right.
And you know, I don't believe there's any more than that. The other portion that we'd like him to come back and do is when Juan was out and did our property at 1225 Old McLeod. he also was doing a portion of the 22 acre, but our neighbor on the other side, last name of Pira, I don't know her first name, basically had one leave stating that she owned that piece of property that we believed we owned. And we've had a survey done and we do own that. And we'd like him to come back and finish that piece also that he had planned to do when he was there originally. The other thing is we want to make sure it's hand cut, not mastication, like we had done on our property. And we would actually prefer the grinding of the material rather than fire. And the reason being that the neighbors, we have concerns that if there's smoke, sparks, anything near their homes, we're going to have a real problem because we have some neighbors that have been less than friendly.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
I
just
think
wanted to bring that up, that we
Yeah.
would prefer not to have fires.
So Matt and Jonathan Duncan, the new acting chief, and Larry Turman from Calfire, and you and Marilyn and I should get out there or talk before and get out there and look at what's going on and see. So, you know, if we go very deep, it's really hard to chip because they have to pull all that stuff out. So I'm not sure. It looks like it's in there deep. So I'm not sure. So we need to get them all together and talk about that. So Julie?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that it's actually official now. Jonathan got the chief job.
Oh, yay.
Announced last week. Yeah. And I saw Anna's hand up for a long time, so I'll be quiet. But Anna.
Oh, I didn't see her hand. Go ahead. Anna, did you have something to say?
No, if my hand was up, it was on accident.
Oh, okay.
Thank you though.
Yeah, and I've had some communication with Marcus Smith, who had come out and walked a portion of the property at least a year ago when Matt was still around. But I haven't made any communication with the new fire chief yet. But I had always understood that we were going to have a meeting before the work was done.
Yes. So we will do that. We'll meet even with Juan. We'll all get together either on the property or at the fire station. We'll make arrangements and talk about next steps.
Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure that I brought that comment up about the fires versus the grinding, because I know that's an additional piece of machinery he might not have anticipated bringing.
Yeah, we were hopeful to burn those piles, but
I'm curious too, Janet. Do you think your neighbors would feel the same way if they actually had the fire engine, the fire crews right there during the burning? Because that's what it sounds like. Just so.
Yeah, I don't know. We've just anything we can do to not aggravate our neighbors is preferred. And if there's big piles with smokes and any sparks or any damage, we're going to have a lawsuit if there's one spark that hits a house. And that's our concern.
Yeah, it won't be big piles. They don't burn big piles. They do little piles, and they do a bunch of little ones off and on. But you know, like when we get together, I think the fire folks can talk to you better about it and maybe relieve some of your concerns. If not, we will just go back to chipping. But that's really hard on Juan to have to drag all of that all the way up to the chipper when it's so deep in. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of the. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a matter of walking the property. I mean, personally, we would be fine with the fires, but we've just got a couple neighbors that we don't want to open the door to any aggravation or issue.
Sure, and maybe we can talk to them and relieve their concerns as well, but we don't want to do anything that's going to cause discord. And I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we appreciate you understanding the sensitivity of that.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this for a while. We know.
It is as far as timing, can you give us just a rough idea?
Well, I'm thinking within the next month, because he told me that he just finished Juniper Flat and he's headed out to Hammonds to do a project out there, and then we're next on Eddie.
Okay.
So I'm thinking in the month, so
Okay,
we will make arrangements.
Okay, and you have our email and contact information, because we'll need a little lead time to make arrangements to be present for that meeting.
Right. Well, as soon as Juan lets me know, then I will call the fire guys and Matt, who's really, Matt's the kind of the push on this. That's the piece he wanted, and I think he's still on board with that.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure, even though he's not chief anymore, I'm sure he's still concerned about fire and fire fuels reduction. So
Yeah.
we'll include him as well.
And we do want to express our gratitude for just all of you working with us to help us bring that into compliance.
Now, Giselle, didn't they use the masticator pretty much on our property? Isn't that what they used for the most part?
They did. They masticated yours and it looks like a park. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it does. Because Janet, if you're worried about the way it looks, we live at the top of Old McLeod, 1709. And the masticator did an incredible job. It's not what you think of big branches and stuff. It was really fine, chopped up. It looks amazing.
Yeah, this kind of gets into, I know everyone has a little difference of opinion about the mastication, but the recommendation we had received from Matt was to do the hand cutting.
Yeah.
Because I was shocked, because I was a little concerned about the masticating, because I'd seen the big masticator like years and years ago come up and just, God, there are huge branches left everywhere. And this stuff just looked like kind of like a chip pile, if anything. And I mean, you're welcome to come and look at our property. Just up
yeah, I
the road.
appreciate that.
So, you might feel better about the concept. And
the other place, you guys, that's really, you have a really good point. And even mastication has differences of how the technique is used.
Exactly.
And if you look at the Forest Service work recently done on, keep going up McLeod when you're into the forest.
Right.
There's some parts there that are amazing that were really well mixed with the dirt. So
yeah, exactly.
And so you can even sort of write a prescription and when you're going out to do it and say, look, I want this deeper, I want dirt involved with it, not just, the chipped, the stubble, the branches. So anyway, it's really good example of it up there if you drive up into the forest. Well, right now it's probably still snow, but not for long. The way
Yeah, because we were surprised. I mean, we really thought, oh, dust is going to blow all over. And this, no, it really does look like a park. We were beyond pleasantly surprised. It was amazing.
Matt did have some places where it was too much of the, I'll call it stubble, with 4 or 5 inch sticks and stuff that will still burn well. And so that's the part he was concerned with.
We didn't have that.
Yeah, and then he saw what the Forest Service was doing up on Old McLeod up there, and he was amazed. So he says, no, that's different. That's a contractor that really. So yeah, you guys can talk about that sometime.
Yeah. Because just to reassure you, it was not even 4 or 5 inch pieces. They were just little chips, and most of it was worked into the dirt. So, if it ever melts up here, especially the berm, you're welcome to look at it all.
Well, it sounds like we'll be having a meeting to discuss it further.
Yeah, and
but thank you for the additional information.
Yeah, they can take a look up here too. It's the last house on the right, so the blue one.
Right. Okay. So any more questions or comments on the Eddie project? No? Okay. There it is. Next, the Old Stage Road Highway 89 project, which is runs from Cantera to Ream and across the Azalea overpass there. We've got, maybe 40% of folks signed up. We're waiting for our NEPA to be finished. We thought we were done and got a little note that there was one little area that still needed to be addressed in the document. And John Kessler, our forester, said he's taken care of that. So we're still waiting for that. And so after Eddie, we will start, if anybody's here from that area, we will start on that next. So anyway, any questions about the Old Stage project? And it's going to be just like, very similar to the Eddie project, just in a different spot. It kind of connects, it connects to 89. So the Forest Service has been working on what they call their 89 project for some time now. And it's a massive fuel reduction project. And it comes right down to the freeway and it goes to McLeod, almost to Bernie. They've been doing a lot of work. And so these grants we got through the Stevens process, which is a federal process, because of the 89 project. They want to clear all this vegetation around or near what they're doing on 89 and Forest Service properties. So that's what we're working on right now. Any questions? Okay, the other project, and I don't think I put it on here, but I should talk about it, is the I-5 project from Siskiyou on-ramps to Azalea on the west side. So the RCD, and Lindsay can talk about it, RCD will be working the east side, and then the Fire Safe Council, probably using the same contractor, will flip and do the other side. Exact same project, just a different lead. RCD is lead on the east, and Fire Safe Council is lead on the west. The RCD already did all of the CEQA, thank you very much. And so this is for ingress and egress, and it'll help us get out in case of a major fire, especially the people in Dunsmuir. And then we're working to do from Azalea to Truck Village will be the next portion of that freeway. And the Fire Safe Council's working on getting the CEQA this round, and Caltrans says they have the money to treat their own property once the CEQA was in place. So we're really happy about that. That'll really clear up the Mount Shasta portion of that freeway and help make us all a lot safer. They also plan to bring in the CCCs, to do some work along the fence line on that portion of the freeway. So all good news for us. Any questions? Lindsay, do you have any comments about that project?
No, I think you kept.
Okay, thank you. All right, the West Mount Shasta update. Now, Lindsay, can you tell us about your secret on the West Mount Shasta side?
Yeah, so we've been kind of engaged with a number of landowners and organizations about really kind of picking up a lot of project proposals that have been in the works for a really long time. RCD was engaged with some work around like the Rainbow Ridge area. You know, I've been talking with Julie and folks about Shasta Ranch Road. We've been working with the Forest Service because they're scoping their South Fork Sacramento project, and they're going to start NEPA on that soon. So, and we caught wind of an opportunity actually through the Board of Forestry to have Ascent Environmental, which is an environmental consulting firm. I don't know where they're based, somewhere in California, probably not here, but they were actually the firm that developed a new programmatic environmental impact report for the whole state of California for state responsibility lands that will that you can tier off of for fuels reduction projects. So people are familiar with like the Calfire VMP program. It's similar to that. It's called the CalVTP program. It's the California Treatment Program is what they're calling it. So we were able to set up an agreement with this firm, Ascent Environmental, who will essentially be doing kind of a pilot project of one of these environmental, CEQA documents for us. And we decided to just kind of focus on this pretty big area west of Mount Shasta that basically goes from I-5 to the Forest Service boundary. And so it's almost 13,000 acres. And so Ascent Environmental is going to be starting to help us do the analysis on that whole area, which is, obviously pretty big. But the intent is to have CEQA in place that will cover a lot of, the work that like the RCD and the Fire Safe Councils and other organizations in our area do to kind of streamline that CEQA process. This spring, we'll be working with Ascent, who will have a bunch of biologists and folks out doing surveys in the area. So I'll probably be engaging with Giselle and maybe Greg, who sounds like you're really engaged in kind of the West Mount Shasta area, and others in the area to maybe try to coordinate some access to areas for these surveys. We're already engaged with a lot of landowners in the area, but not obviously everybody in the 13,000 acre footprint. So I just wanted to share that and let you guys know that I might be reaching out here in the next, couple months to try and help coordinate some of those surveys.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. That's going to be a wonderful leg up for the projects. And we have already proposed once, we didn't get it, through Calfire from Ream all the way up to Dietz and taking in the Dietz subdivision and Highlands subdivision where Greg and Neil live, and then maybe Wagon Wheel in that area. So we've proposed that one. So this will give another chance. I don't know if we will propose that again or if the RCD will or what we'll do, but we're working on that, Greg. We haven't forgot about you guys, and you've been showing up regularly and squeaky wheel. So we do want to treat those areas for ingress and egress and get you on the freeways on and off safely. And so it's a cool thing. It's really cool that they're going to get this CEQA out of the way. So thank you, Lindsay. So, all right. Any questions? And there are other West Mount Shasta people over on Hill Road, Dobush and Jordan, two people, they're not here. They're very interested to have their piece treated as well. And they've been working among themselves to do a few things in their neighborhood, but it's just, not enough. They need some help. All right. Stevens proposal update. We're working on 2 Stevens proposals right now as we talk to Eddie and Old Stage. That opens in the spring often and maybe a little later, and those projects have to touch Forest Service ongoing or proposed projects. So we're still looking to that 89 piece in any way that we can touch it in order to qualify. So when that comes open, we'll be talking about areas that we would like to treat based on what information that we have at the time and what their criteria will be at that time. Interesting enough, the Stevens doesn't really give you any instructions. They just say it's open, make your proposal. So I've just used a Forest Service template for something else and it worked a couple of times already. So anyway, that will be coming open soon, maybe. Calfire prevention grant update. So Kristen is helping me and we're proposing 3 areas. Dunsmuir, I-5 Mount Shasta, and Lake Shastina. Those are due on the 9th, and we're scrambling to get all the documents compiled and put in order and submitted, and very hopeful that we're going to be successful in some of them. Any comments? These are projects that were chosen not only by the people, but by Calfire, Siskiyou unit. And they basically told us what they wanted. And these are the 3 projects they chose. And they're all in the Siskiyou unit plan. And Larry Turman, our battalion chief, has been to the meetings. We formed a South Siskiyou wildfire mitigation group to help plan these projects and put them on paper. And so we're all still working together to get that done. Anyway, any other questions? All right. Next thing, Forest Service update. Anna, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I can give you a couple things we got going on. So since we don't have a whole lot of snow up in the
Kind of lost
McBride.
communication. I don't know what's.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, okay. So
Anybody
we were
else
able
hear her?
to. Huh. So no, Giselle, can you not hear me?
Giselle froze, but we hear you, Anna.
Oh, okay. I'll turn on my camera too. So we stood back up the mastication contract up in McBride. We still have a little bit of work to go. Essentially, it's from that private boundary near the Gateway Trailhead, working up north to where they left off. So they'll be working in there at least the next couple weeks, finishing that up, and we'll be closing the Gateway Trail system, the Lollipop Trail, intermittently as they're working through there. We're putting together a contract package for the area down by the Adena campground, down off of the McLeod River, from about Adena to where we tie into the Nature Conservancy property. It'll be a roadside buffer through their FMZ. And then we put in for a grant through the Sierra Nevada Conservancy to finish the FMZs for that Lower McLeod project. And then we've been talking to the Nature Conservancy about entering into an agreement with them to do cross-boundary burning once we get to that stage. It's a ways out, but we're going to start the conversations now and get those agreements in place. We also put in for another grant through the Sierra Nevada Conservancy that will do the hazard tree mitigation for the first 2 miles of the Slate Creek Road. It's down in Shasta County, kind of in between Shasta Lake. But that'll be huge for one of our permittees to access the hydroelectric. They have that drainage. And then for prescribed fire outlook for this year, we are going to be looking at potentially doing some underburns off of the Everett Memorial, where that first big bend is before you get to the McBride Springs campground. So we'll be looking at that later this year when the conditions are favorable. And then we may do some stuff out at Elk if we can as well, out in the McLeod Flats. And then I just took a drive out to, I wasn't able to get all the way to the falls because I didn't have the right key on the gate, but they're starting to make a lot of progress with the timber harvest in Highway 89. So a lot of that azalea area had been cleared earlier, and then the timber harvest around the upper or the middle McLeod Falls overlook and the Fowler's campground. They've made it through there with their timber harvesting, and also around where the Lakin Dam area is. You can drive to Lakin right now if you guys wanted to see it, but it is looking really good in there. And the company that was working in there, I was happy to see how many dogwoods were still left in that Lake Inn area post-harvest. They had some good equipment operators. I think that's about might affect your guys' stuff. We're coming to a place with the South Fork Scott project that we're getting close to finalizing our proposed action for that. So we're making some final adjustments to our PA document and our maps. And so we should be good putting that out later this spring, which will be huge to get that project moving.
Very supportive of the South Fork project.
Yeah, we're really excited about that and all the recreation stuff that's going in there too. Not just, the fire safe stuff, but I'm excited about some of that recreation stuff. So Lindsay, we'll probably have some more conversations with you as we start navigating down that road where that project butts up against the private property.
Sounds good. Any questions for Anna or comments?
Yeah, I noticed driving back from Reading today driving up, it would be on the right side. There was like a lot of wood. It almost looked like slash kind of harvested. Were they harvesting a lot of the dead stuff that had burned?
Are you talking about just before or just south of Lakehead, in that area where the salt fire burned through earlier this year?
I think so. I think that's where it was.
Yeah, they've been working on some of that roadside hazard tree stuff, like just south of where they put in the new bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just the post-fire stuff that they had from the fire.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. I hope they continue to, go up and get some of that other stuff that looks like, a cemetery for trees.
Yeah, and on the district, we are moving forward with a plan for some of the post-fire reforestation from the antelope fire. We're targeting an area near the Trout Creek campground, if you guys are familiar with that area out in McLeod. So we'll be, we'll be proposing a project out there that we're working on. And then we also have another small project just south of the ski park as well, along the 31 road, that we're in the planning stages for. That'll be a CE, so it should be pretty easy.
CE?
Yeah, it's a so we have 3 different types of NEPA that we do, and a CE is the least complex type of project, a categorical exclusion.
Okay. A lot of initials going around.
Yeah,
we have to remember, I forget sometimes too. So when we're talking to people that aren't doing this all the time to try to say the whole thing, I forget all the time. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks.
Anything else okay. Well, the next thing, come on, is Calfire update. They put their update in chat, and since they can't talk to us, I can read it briefly. We are intaking information on current projects for Battalion Chief Turman. All specifics on project updates will be through him at this time. So when Larry can join us, he will let us know what's happening. So, and he's been working with us on these current Calfire grants. So he's been active there. So thank you, Calfire. Mount Shasta Bioregional Ecology Center has come to one of the South Siskiyou wildfire mitigation groups, and they are working with private landowners on in a few areas, but I'm sorry they're not here, but they're really good people. Julie, have you got an update from them at all? Do you know what they're up to?
No, No, I haven't been in touch lately. I just see that they have a few event things coming up, and but I haven't stayed real active. Their website usually posts their stuff pretty well. I'd suggest people can look on that for their events, but I haven't heard anything lately. Also,
Alrighty,
just
well, thank
you
you.
asked me, Jonathan texted me and said he had to have it be on another Zoom call or he would have been here. So he
Oh,
hopes to
okay.
hear the recording from you. So yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, he's got some babies and they're working. He's got, besides his duties, he has a lot of family responsibilities. He's got a brand new one. What, she's under a year, I think. Hannah's under a
Yeah.
year. And then
Yeah,
a
and
little
he's actually
boy.
on a phone meeting. But he's got little
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what he told me. He says his life is just kind of crazy right now. So I get it. So anyway, I also want to remind you that the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County's meeting will be next Wednesday at 5:30. I sent out the Zoom. So I think that's the 9th. I'm just checking the 9th. So if y'all could join us for that one too, there'll be more information. Paul Mavernick from the tower, the water tower things, he's going to talk again, and he has some events that he would like to share with us. So it will be interesting to hear what they have to say. And then I have like our Facebook. Go to Facebook, see what we're up to. Greg keeps things posted. We have another fellow, Zep, he posts stuff all the time. And if you have something that you think is just burning and you can't let it go, we'll post it. So anyway, even if you can let it go, we'll post it. So anyway, let us know. And open forum. Anybody have anything else?
Well, I just like to say that I really like having the meetings at 3:30 because I'm still awakened with it. At 5:30, I'm already thinking, oh God, I got to make dinner, and I'm winding down
Right.
and just, so
Right.
personally, I think 3:30 is great.
Well, that's what I told you. One young mother, she said, well, I have to make dinner. This is for a meeting. I said, well, just mute and stop the video and just listen and fix dinner. Take
Yeah.
care of your kids. You can still listen in.
Mm.
So anyway, action items, go to the meeting on Wednesday. We're going to be, for the Eddie project, we'll be having a get together to discuss next steps there with Juan. And we'll be completing our proposals for the Calfire prevention grant due on the 9th. And did we talk about anything else? I think that's our next steps. Anybody have anything else to say?
I'll just say something real quick, Giselle. Given our disappointing outlook right at the moment in the weather and moisture, is I really hope that's, it's hard for people to think, fuels reduction, but people hopefully are preparing. Just I can't say more. I think we all know it that are on the call, but to get the word out to your neighborhoods, like, well, we might as well start doing some brush clearing because we got to hope for something.
Yep,
February's not looking good, so let's hope for March, or something to change.
yeah. Maybe we should put something on our Facebooks and start encouraging people there. If you have something you want me to post, because you and Jay had those good outreaches, yeah, might need to just start doing that over again and see what happens. Just go through that series another time. So
it's not a bad idea. I'll reach out to Jay on that and see if we want to just put, they're not hard to put out because they're already pre-made now, kind of. So yeah, I'll be in touch and let you know.
Yeah.
And another factor that you might want to tie in is that people might not think about is that the burn days, burn season might be cut real short, and people aren't thinking about that right now, that, oh man, we better race the clock and get our burn piles, like, what you're saying, get your slash or whatever cleaned up, but the burn, it's like, okay, get your slash cleaned up, but you might run out of time to burn it, or, if they don't have any other
time
options.
is, yeah, you only have a short window of time to get that done. Also, Kristen, take it back to your husband that we so appreciate his help through all these proposals and the us mapping, and Vestra, he's volunteered Vestra's time. McConnell has been a great partner through all of this, and they're helping us. They don't charge us, they just help us. And so really appreciate his help and your help and coming on board. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I'll pass it along to him. Yeah, he
right.
works really hard.
He does work really hard. Yeah. And he's, you know, he's knowledgeable.
So
Yeah.
this is
And
this
so-
Alex's. Is this? Now I got it.
Yeah, I'm Alex's wife. Yeah,
I get it. Okay, good. Nice to meet you.
yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing on the burning, Giselle, with what Kristen just said. I had a really good conversation with a fuels officer over on Six Rivers that has sort of a line on these burners, these big, huge burner things that they can put on a property, i.e. Roseburg, and have people bring their brush stuff down there. And he said that Calfire has an agreement thing, and it very well could be that the ones over there could be moved over here. I haven't reached out to Larry, and I will, to see if that is something that we can get here in our county due to the short season that Kristen's just talking about. They're not huge, but there'd be a really good, I mean, it would be great if we can keep people coming and filling that and getting that going.
Yeah, it'd be huge.
Well, the
Yeah.
air burner or curtain burner people came, I don't know, a year or so ago and talked to us about their products. And they're expensive, but they're well worth it. They said there are 5 of them in California owned by Calfire, and we should reach out to Calfire and see if they would loan us one, just see how we liked it. So we thought about a proposal for that. They have one that's actually will generate electricity, and you can put it into a, that one is $1.5 million, but you can get it as small as a little trailer that you can put behind your vehicle for much, much less. So, you know, we might consider that for our next upcoming grant period, to buy one, maybe one that's on a trailer that
Well,
we can
I-
move
I-
around.
Yeah, and I don't even know if necessarily buy it, but if Calfire can work with the Fire Safe Council, an agreement to get this in place, I need to find out more. And he sent me some information, so maybe I'll get that. I'll
Sure.
look at it, get it going. Contact Larry, and then you, me, Larry, see if we can figure out, and maybe talk to this guy on Six Rivers too that gave this information.
And
Okay.
you know what, maybe that's a vendor that we should invite back and have them talk to us about it again, because things might have changed, but
Well, yeah,
yeah, and would be,
I don't even know if it's a vendor. I believe Calfire has them now, but we need to find
Right.
out more. Yeah.
right,
we-
right. Well, that's what I said. Calfire, the vendor said Calfire has them.
Yeah.
And they thought we should reach out, and they said they have 5 of them in this state.
And they may have more now. I don't know with the money,
Yeah.
but I don't know how many now. But yeah, we'll talk more on it. So
Yeah, that's pursue that, Julie. That sounds
Okay.
great.
I will. We put that on an action item. I'll take that
Yeah.
forward. And
Yeah.
see what we can do.
That's
Okay.
awesome. All right. Thank you. Our next meeting, since we're meeting quarterly, will be the 5th of May, unless you want to meet sooner. And if you do, reach out and we can have, Kristen, so you know, we used to meet monthly, but people were, there wasn't enough stuff to share monthly, and quarterly there, it made more sense. So anyway, any comments? Are we all good?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Giselle.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll
you.
see you maybe Wednesday.
Okay, we'll certainly try.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye,
Nice,
Lindsay.
nice to meet you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.